Tolu Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go berserk. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Say I break out the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. The clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Yeah, feel the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. With the boss. Oh man, caught him slipping. Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday night, man. As you guys can see, we have some very familiar faces joining us here. We got Eric Vincent in the building, aka E. Vinny, who is Clutch Points reporter and writer for the Detroit Pistons. He pulled up. Also, we have our dog, Pistons OG creator, Everything King, back with us as well. And of course, y'all know the boss here already. Look, man, it's been a long time, y'all, since we have been together, but the Pistons had an off night. Figured it'd be a good time to do it. So how y'all feeling, man? It's been a minute since we've been here. What's the word with y'all? What's going on?
Man, life as a Pistons fan, I mean, we great. You know what I'm saying? Everything is good. I mean, we still number one in the East. Okay. Things get better and better. Slam Magazine, we got it going.
Okay. Great time to be a Pistons fan. E, what's the word, bro?
Feeling good, man. I think we missed the opportunity today. We should have came in with the JB Biggerstaff headband today.
I was looking for mine.
Yeah, I knew I had one somewhere. I couldn't find it.
Could not find
Together
it
all the time. We should have locked in.
Hey, but we got something for that. At the end of the show, we're going to talk about that for sure.
Okay.
100%. Boss, how you feeling?
I feel good. No complaints. Miss the Pistons.
Yes. It's been a tough couple days. We got a day and a half or two more until we get some more Pistons basketball. But that's why we're here for y'all, right? To kind of fill that gap. So we see y'all in the chat, man. We appreciate everybody who is here on this off night joining us. We're going to be answering some mailbag questions that were submitted to us on socials. So if we didn't get a chance to drop them in there, we'll do our best to get to any we have time for. But if you want to ensure your question is answered here in the chat tonight, hit us with a super chat and we will get to your question. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Our first question comes from Devin Franklin. Shout out Devin. Devin says, Deuce and Sarah, what up, though? My question is, if Detroit is fully healthy going into the playoffs, who do you want to see and who do you not want to see playing? Love the show, guys. Keep up the great work. So I'll kick it off to whoever wants to get us started. Are there any players who you would particularly like to see in the rotation get more minutes, or anybody who is there now that you would like to not see as much of, or what? I just kind of leave it up to y'all. So E, you over there smiling, bro. I'll let you kick it off for us, bro. What's on your mind over there, man? What you think about? You couldn't,
it's like
popcorn.
Hold it I'm trying to keep my head down like I can't read. Oh man. Let's be nice first. I think JB Biggerstaff, when a lot of people heard him say, when like everybody got back healthy, I think earlier in December, people weren't really excited about the idea of doing what Monty did last year, of throwing everybody out and just seeing what works. Mm-hmm. But to his credit, and when you have a good coach that actually has an identity, a foundation, a plan, things can work out in a favorable position. And that's what JB Biggerstaff has been able to, construct with his team. With whatever he's had available to him. And I think at this point, we kind of understand what works to the Pistons' ability right now. I would love to see, for a playoff roster, obviously the starting five I think has been fantastic this year. Both ends of the floor, I think they've all done a good job of giving effort on both ends. In terms of the question mark kind of players, I think at this point it's kind of clear cut that Deuce's guy, Dennis Jenkins, needs to be a part of the rotation just moving forward. I think he's kind of solidified and showed that like he's not just a bucket getter and good for himself, but I think he helps other people around him like Ivy. I think he does a great job of, setting Stu up for shots and drawing attention to himself as a speedy, shifty guard. And I just love the way he's able to play and just kind of adapt to whoever's around him. Javante, I think, is a great playoff type performer, a guy that you need that's, just kind of gritty and can turn, the energy of the game just like that. Whoa. I'll keep it short because I want to hear everybody else's opinion. But for now, if there was one person that I think the Pistons for now maybe could do without, and, honestly, maybe just for his veteran presence, it could be different come the playoffs. But for right now, I think Karis LeVert just got to show a little bit more consistency, man. He's been pretty disappointing. It's not to say that he's just been buns all season, but he just hasn't been what the team has been expecting. Like his scoring prowess has not been as impressive as we would have hoped. JB talking about how he could be a backup point to help set the table for everybody else. I just don't think we've seen that as efficient as we've wanted to. I think Ivy's done a better job. I think Dennis has done a better job. Even when they have Asar bringing the ball up and let him orchestrate, I think he's been better at it. It's been a little disappointing what we've seen from Karis, but it's still a bit of a time to go. So hopefully, as the season goes on, he can find some rhythm if he can stay healthy because he's been hurting in and out of the lineup a lot. But for now, I think those are some of the more important people that we should be seeing in terms of the rotation for the postseason.
Okay. What you got, boss? I'll come to you next.
I agree. I would like to see Ivy's minutes go up before then, like you said, fully healthy. Later, I want to see how he does not as our point guard starting with more minutes. Definitely Javante, Ron. And he kind of DJ, of course, Dennis Jenkins deserves it. I think he's proven that over the last few games, especially after relying on him heavily early in the season. His minutes kind of got cut and now it's back and we can still rely on him just as much. Paul Reed, I would utilize him a lot too to rest our bigs, especially if we go with the two big lineup. Basically everyone. I kind of miss Tobias. Tobias is always good when we are lacking half-court offense in a game that they're forcing it on us. And I would say, utilize LeVert on defense, but we can't put him out there for scoring. But I think we can still put him out there for spacing and defense. But it's a hard thing. Like we were just talking about lineups and everything, but it's a good problem to have, but it is tough to see. So luckily we have a lot of time to kind of figure that out. But I do think that they're starting to do that. Like we talked about it. It seems like he was going with a set group of people in the last few games. And I think the people he's chosen to close out games have been the better pick compared to other times. So that's what I would go with.
I think that's fair. Yeah, we've seen early in the season guys playing 12 or him playing 12 guys sometimes, but it seemed like the rotation is kind of getting a little bit shortened a little bit. I think that's fair. What you got, King? What you got for us? On mute.
My bad.
I want to hear you.
The glasses, blame the glasses.
So I'm kind of, up and down on JB Bickerstaff when it comes to his lineups finishing the game. The other night and the game before, that was warranted. Those guys brought the most energy. We were down players. It makes sense. When we get our starters back, guys like Karis LeVert, I'm tired of seeing him closing games. I want Karis to be very at the bottom of the bench until playoff time comes around and where you start ramp him up a little bit. Obviously, all of the injuries and everything, we know that's time. That's management. But my second unit, I want to see Dennis Jenkins, Ivy, Ron Holland, Green, and Isaiah Stewart. That should be a lock. Unless there's injuries in the first unit, that should be a lock for me as far as the second unit goes.
Yeah.
And whatever guy is out from the first unit is interchangeable, man. But you know, I was one of the people that said that, you know, Asar he's been horrible on offense but good on defense, and that's why you got to keep him on the floor as a starter. But there's times where we get stagnant out there. I would like to see JB push the buttons a little bit faster to get some offense out there, because like I said, it puts Cade and Hale out there. So we got to be a little bit more urgent in those situations.
Yeah, I think those are all good points. I see somebody mention unleash the Chaz Manian Devil. I don't know if we're going to see too much Chaz this year, even though I don't think it's anything he has done or hasn't done. It's just him being a rookie. I don't think there's a need. Boss, you always mention this, how we don't have to force our rookies into situations they're not really comfortable in out the gate, right? We can kind of move them along slowly. So, you know, if we do, that's cool, but I won't be mad at it. But I'm not sure how much you're going to see of him just because he's so young. We're kind of building camaraderie with who we got, but you never know. But yeah, I definitely agree with most of that. Go ahead, boss.
I was just going to say, I think also some people are disappointed in not seeing Chaz after he did kind of show out for us in the last game where we were kind of down, but I understand why he didn't play. But I agree. It's kind of, just something that we might see as it goes on. He did try him and it did work out, and we could still see that. And if he earns his minutes, he may be able to play more in the towards the postseason.
Yeah, I like how he's always ready.
Yeah.
He's always ready. He hadn't played in I don't know how long. Came in, was impactful right away. So that's a great sign for a rookie for sure. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's move on to our next question. This one is kind of a 2-in-1, so I'll read them both, but kind of the same answer. First one comes from Burke Worldwide. It says, who is your ideal trade target for the Pistons at the deadline? And then C. Henry says, who do you guys perceive as realistic trade targets, and who are we realistically offering in exchange? Do we have any pressing needs, or can this team win in the East as is? So we'll start with that first piece of it. Do you guys have any trade targets for the Pistons at the deadline, or do you think there's anybody realistically the Pistons could try to go after in the trade market as of right now? I'll kick it to you, King, first. What you got for that?
As far as people we should try to go after, obviously Michael Porter Jr. That's obviously, but I think we need to wait around till that asking price drops a little bit, because they're almost imminent on trading them. So this is the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets they're gonna start very high. They're gonna ask for everything. So just see how that plays out. Of course, we all talked about Trey Murphy. Obviously, the reports say what they say, but this is the NBA. That can change in a heartbeat.
It's true.
But more realistic, guys, I'm watching the Milwaukee situation and seeing what's happened with Giannis for guys like Bobby Portis, because he fixes two problems in one person, which is 3-point shooting, and he's another guy that's a 4. So, like I said, just watching these situations, man, even with the reports that came out today with oh God, I can't even think of his name right now. Play for Cleveland.
Sexton?
Yeah,
Colin Sexton.
Sexton, man. At that point, it's like I would rather Dennis Jenkins, and I would rather what we got right now. That makes things redundant on the bench, bro. I would rather Dennis Jenkins, bro. So it's like just watching the reports and seeing what the domino effect is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. What you got, E?
Yeah, my most ideal guy, Deuce, we talk about him all the time, is Trey Murphy. I'm very high on how good I think he could fit with this team. People have been kind of, dogging on his defense, and I've checked out some games. He hasn't been as good of a defender as maybe he was a couple years ago, but when you're in a JB Bickerstaff system, he's going to demand that you play defense. And if you can squeeze out good defensive minutes out of Duncan Robinson, I'm pretty sure you'll be just fine with a guy as athletic and gifted as Trey Murphy. So I don't look at him and think, oh, he'll be a negative if he comes over here. Like, I don't believe that. And I don't think he'd be worse than what Tobias is giving you this season defensively. So I think that will be an easy and instant upgrade with him. Obviously, it's going to cost a lot, but I think a guy like him, considering what he is right now and can be in 5 years, I think he's worth a gamble like that, which is the difference to me with a Michael Porter Jr. I think he's playing great right now. I don't know how much better he's going to be 5 years from now. I think Trey Murphy could be in all-star conversations in the next 3-5 years, to be honest, if he were in the East.
Agreed.
If it was somebody a little more low-key, I think maybe it will probably be difficult to get somebody like this, but I think this team is going to slip up a little bit because I'm not that big of a fan of how they play. I think Boston is going to slip up. I don't think Jason Tatum is going to come back. I don't know if this hot streak by Jalen Brown is going to keep up all season long. So I think they could maybe lose a guy like Sam Hauser, and I think that could be a huge addition for somebody like the Pistons. They still need shooting. People are going to be as adamant about some people not shooting on this team. You're going to have to find some more shooting to help, suffice for this offense. Because if Cade is going to get doubled and tripled, later in the season and in the postseason, as we expect, you got to have some people who can take advantage of that instead of people who are just kind of figuring out what to do or maybe timid with the basketball. I think a guy like Sam Hauser is somebody that could take advantage of that extra attention with some sniping shots from the outside. Mm-hmm. And Bobby Portis is somebody that I was going to bring up too. I love that idea, especially on a team like Milwaukee, who's also sinking down. And I think they may be getting rid of Giannis sooner than later too. So, I think those are probably the more realistic, swings. I don't anticipate that they do make that big home run trade, unfortunately. But I think luckily for them, considering being first in the East, they don't need it right now. It could help them, but they don't need it based on where they're at this moment. So, I think those are some of the realistic names that could help a lot with this basketball team. And whoever's saying Derek White, you better get out of the chat right now. No,
the trolls is here, bro.
Come on,
the trolls is here.
Don't do that. Don't do that, bro.
They've been waiting for you.
Don't do that, bro.
I was talking about this. I was talking about this chat. It was like, oh yeah, we got to make sure we let Eric know we here.
Know what's coming.
But yeah, you're right, bro. We talked about Trey Murphy a lot. When the news came out that they weren't going to be pretty much like shopping any of those guys, I was a little disappointed because of the upside, like we talked about. But I had to remind myself of what Trajan Langdon said all year, that this is going to be an evaluation season, right? He wants to give these guys time to play, opportunity. So that's what he's doing. And so I think if we play the year out as is, he'll have more time to evaluate, more games to evaluate, and they have more opportunity to kind of gel and see what we have before we make a move maybe next season. So I'm not mad if they don't make a move, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Deuce, because one thing that the fan base got to understand is this is not going to end anytime soon for the Pistons.
Facts.
We are young. We got our guys under contract. We got money to spend. This is not going to end anytime soon. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the other teams in the East, those teams are getting ready to head down. So there's no need to rush it and say we have to do it right now.
Right.
That window is going to be open for a couple of years.
Facts. That's a great point. Yeah. King said, coming in, says, how do you guys feel about Zach LaVine? I'm straight on Zach LaVine, bro. I'm straight on Zach LaVine personally. Like, maybe I'm just in the minority, but how do y'all feel about Zach LaVine?
I've washed my hands with that.
Can I give my feelings about the trades, or are we going to do another?
Skipper again.
Take off. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss that Sewage. My bad. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Well, you obviously know Trey Murphy is who I would, that would be my big one, or else I'm okay with waiting. I know a lot of people want MPJ. My issue with him, he is having a remarkable year. He's bounced back. He did great for the Nuggets and then kind of fell off. I think it was time for him to move on from that. He wants to be the number one. I think that's why he's thriving in Brooklyn. He won't be the number one in the Pistons. Right. And he's also, I don't see him meshing with the defensive effort. I think he'll have decent defensive games, but I don't see him running the court for defense, in all honesty. And I just fear that if he's not the number one, he'll make himself the number one, which is his assist thing with this. But he is thriving in Brooklyn, but I think it's because of who he's around. I like Bobby Portis as an option. Sam Hauser was a great one. I also have seen some stuff about Dante DiVincenzo, which I wouldn't be so mad at because I know the Timberwolves are also looking for a point guard. That would be my only fear, is that they go after Jenkins. Like, their asking price would be one of our point guards that we're still trying to develop and work with. But again, it could be a multi-way trade. It could be anything. So I could see them doing that. Another one that became available was Lou Dort. Wouldn't be mad at that. He can shoot threes. He can defend. He can be a little dirty, but we don't mind that, here. So those would be kind of my guys. I also talked to you earlier too. Like, I know we went for John Collins. He was on the list of free agents, John Collins, before the game started. And I think he would still be decent. He's shooting 55%. The Clippers just haven't started utilizing him till recently. And since he was a free agent, I don't know anything about contracts. I truly go off of vibes. So that's just kind of another person I wouldn't be terribly upset about. I just feel like if we're not giving it all to Trey, for a trade to Trey in the right now it could be an off-season deal too, because they did clarify like before deadline, these guys aren't available before deadline. But again, who knows? Then I think we should just do something small like we did with Shooter last year. We didn't give up basically anything.
Right.
To bring in just some shooting help, but also the defense is what runs this. So I don't think we necessarily need a guy just like Duncan Robinson. He can produce for us. We don't need him to get back. He doesn't have to be defense, doesn't have to be his game, but he has to mesh with the system.
Yep.
So I'd be curious if they go after any of those guys. Otherwise, I'm also just okay with seeing what happens in the off season, because there is always a risk of bringing someone in and it throwing things off.
Yep.
It's always that risk.
100%. Go ahead. Can you have something you want to say?
Oh, she made some great points, man. Brought up some great names. And the thing is, like I said, with some of those guys is, when you sacrificing what you sacrificing on defense, it's like, okay, yeah, we bringing him in. Michael Porter Jr. fans. You bring him in, he's a upgrade offensively over Tobias Harris, but pretty much the same player defensively as Tobias Harris, and he jacks up a lot of irresponsible shots if you actually watch his game.
Yep.
And it speaks to what Eric said. He wants to be the number one guy. He wants to be the franchise dude. So, but the price tag is where I draw the difference. And am I paying for a more expensive Tobias Harris for maybe a couple more points? So, like I said, I would rather wait until the off season and see who wants to come in here, because you're going to draw a lot of attention because of how good you are in the East automatically.
Yeah.
So you'll have some money to play with.
Go ahead, E.
Can I shoot one down, please, that I keep seeing in the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Shoot it down. I'll pull it up. You shoot it down.
People, y'all don't want Jaren Jackson Jr.
No.
Oh,
You
no.
don't want Jaren Jackson Jr. Stop.
No.
Stop doing that to
7
yourself.
feet.
You don't want a
like
7
5 boards.
Thank you, Deuce. You don't want a 7-footer who can't rebound, bro. He still fouls all the time. He's better outside than he is inside. You don't want a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. He don't fit anything that this culture or this team represents. And I don't even need to be long-winded with that. You do not want Jaren Jackson Jr. on this team. Please stop putting that name in the chat.
I did see an argument today, though, that they think that he's just not utilized in the right position in Memphis, that he has to be forced to not be a big against the boards. So, I get it, but also his asking price will be more than Jaws.
That's
Right.
And I don't think he fits next to Duren either. I just don't think that's a combination that you want in your front court. Duren, I think, is enough of a 7-footer with athletic guys around him, or somebody like Stu who plays in the paint, but he's undersized, so it works.
Exactly.
Him and Jaren Jackson, who don't even rebound, no, that is the last kind of person you want on this team. No.
Go ahead, King. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, bro.
Even if you get if you don't get a big fish, get somebody that you can get in that rotation with Stu and Tobias. And, like I said, it's not, we don't have to get the home run guy. JJJ is, he's lazy, bro. He wants to score the basketball, but he's lazy. And like I say, he's not the most healthiest guy either.
No.
So like I said, we don't
Neither is MPJ.
Right.
That's the thing. Yeah, Boss, that's the thing. Boss watched him for years in Denver. So I kind of relate to her when it comes to players over there, because she knows them. And she always says, if Joker wanted him on that team, he'd still be on that team.
Right.
I
think that's kind of important. Yeah. So we'll leave it there. In the chat, in the poll, you guys said, as far as with that question, 54% said we need more shooting, 40% said we need a secondary scorer, and 6% said neither. So some of y'all are just cool, just standing pat, which I'm not mad at all either. So we'll get a few more polls up going, guys. But let's move on now, guys, to our next question. This one comes from Big Dog Pistons. Says, what type of trade, y'all on the trades tonight, what type of trades will the Pistons make? A splash like trading Asar, or something small? We kind of hit on that already. I don't think Asar is going anywhere, to be honest, anytime soon.
Not during the season.
Say it again?
I don't think not during the season. I think it depends on what's offered in the offseason, but that's just too far to tell. You have no idea where the season's going. Everything's up in the air still.
Right.
Yeah. Thoughts on that?
Yeah.
What you got, King?
Nothing. Yeah,
he said nothing.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it already. Yeah, it's more likely that they make a margins type deal with somebody that maybe comes off the bench, plays 15, 20 minutes a game. I don't expect a big swing anytime soon from this franchise. Not right now.
Same. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Let's go to our next question. Comes from Travis Allen. He says, I know Stu usually starts at power forward, but how long do you think before Ron Holland earns a starting rotation spot? Starting Asar and Ron at the 3 and 4 together, possibly? That's an interesting thought. That took your glasses off, bro.
Man,
you want to go first on that one?
Tee off, bro. Tee off.
All right, man. So I have brung it up on Twitter. I know y'all saw it.
Yeah, I did. I voted.
I did too.
Just sitting watching basketball games, man. From a coach's perspective, he's been playing better lately. He has. Asar's been tasked with some bigger assignments as far as guarding starters, but Ron Hollins, he's really good at defense too. He's been attacking the basket with reckless abandon. I don't know if I make the switch yet though, because like I said, if I'm true to trying to develop Asar as one of the core guys, I got to keep him out there with the starting unit. But if that scenario changes, man, I don't know how long you're gonna be able to keep Ron on the bench, because like I say, he's producing while he's out there. It's kind of hard to argue it.
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's tough. Go ahead, boss.
I just think right now what's working is Asar and Ron are kind of tasked with the same people. I've seen Asar get into some foul trouble the last few games. Either he's biting on jumps or he's reaching in, and Ron is not doing that. So he's kind of coming in to guard those people and not making those mistakes. So I agree. I could see really, like, it wouldn't surprise me if one day Ron or Asar was coming off. It would surprise me a little bit, but if Ron started and Asar was coming off the bench, I could also see them together. But right now, I think it's a threat that we have Asar go sit and Ron can come in for him. It doesn't give the other team a break. But right. I do think Ron has been making wiser defensive choices lately than Asar. But yeah, Asar's just, but he has just also made great plays. They're both obviously incredible defenders, but having Ron come in to help when Asar is struggling has been really big. Yeah,
agreed. E, what you got, man?
I agree with a lot of what y'all said. I think we would need to see a much bigger jump from Ron Holland. It's not to say that he's been bad. I think he's JB talks about all the time. He embraces his role for what they need. Like, he doesn't go out there trying to just play hero ball and make things about him. Like, one of the most underrated parts about Ron's game is making an extra pass. Like, he'll catch it very often, like on a wing, and he knows somebody's open in the corner, and he'll feed it right away. It's not always about him and how I can attack and go get mine. But I also do love the fearlessness of his game to attack guys like Kawhi Leonard off a dribble and then go get an and one out of it too. Even when he's missing his shots, like, I don't mind that he went 1 of 7 from the 3 against the Clippers. I like that he at least has the confidence to take the shots, because that's step 1 in shooting development. PSA to some people who need to hear it. So I like the steps that we're seeing from Ron. If we saw a little bit more, like somebody asked me on, my stream that I had, during a road game, like someone asked me if they think he's a 20 a night scorer. I don't think so yet, just because his bag isn't there. Like, we don't see him like creating, doing step backs, taking middies, like scoring with his left hand. He scores in 1 of 2 ways: playing downhill or hitting open threes. That's really what Ron does, or scoring in transition. So if he had a little bit more, I think you would have a deeper conversation to kind of start him. I don't think he would. Maybe next to Asar, but I don't know. I don't really like them as a 3-4 starting tandem. I think he is a 3 or a 2 at worst, or in his versatility. But for now, I think they kind of have something that's working, and I don't think they need to tinker with it too much, to be honest.
I think if they were to ever do that, they would both need to raise their 3-point percentage significantly.
Yeah.
Right. Especially having Cade on the court as your main facilitator. You got to have space on the court. And I think it'd be tough. We already talked about with Asar, out there. Sometimes it's tough when he catches the ball late in the shot clock because they force it. They, kind of funnel the ball to him. So he does have to do something with it. I think it'd be tough right now with both of them right now out there. Defensively, it'd be crazy. And you'd be relying on transition play more than anything. But when teams start taking care of the basketball and they force you to play half court offense, how does it look in that situation? That would be one of my only concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Can you have something else you want to say?
No, I was just saying, man, eventually, I say, I don't know how long you'll be able to keep that tandem on this team. Eventually, I'm talking about down the years.
Okay.
Maybe because in the offseason, we're going to trade for KD, so we got to do something.
That is definitely not what we're doing, King.
I'm ready.
King trying to start stuff.
Twitter memes with the Pistons shirt on. I'm ready for it.
I already know, bro. I already know. So look, you guys have spoken on this poll of should Asar and Ron start together. 46% said no. 13% said yes, but 43% said not yet. So maybe you guys are along the lines of just making, waiting for them to increase that 3-point percentage. But I'm with Eric. I don't know if that is where you want Ron primarily as a 4. I think he's more of a 2-3 than a 3-4, like you always say, E. So I don't know. we'll see. They tried him at times in spots at the 4, and he's played big. He's been great in the boards and being able to board and push and stuff like that. But as of right now, I'll probably say not yet.
Even Asar, I don't even see him as they've tried some areas, and I think it was more due to injury and the situation. But even him, I don't even like him playing the 4. Like, I just don't think that works for either of them right now. They're not. Like Ron is confident shooting his 3, but it's just not going in yet.
Right.
Like when you have Stu starting next to Duren, again, considering their size, considering how Stu was getting better at shooting and playing outside as well, because he's putting the ball on the floor too confidently, and setting up for those catch and shoot opportunities. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, for right now, I don't see like you're getting too much of the same between Asar and Ron right now. If one of them was just kind of rising obviously in terms of their offensive production and their versatility, you would have a much stronger case. But right now, you're kind of just seeing the same thing, and I don't really think it will be that beneficial to have them together. I think they work with Asar coming off the bench or going to the bench first, bringing Ron in, and you kind of just pick up from like a running back duo, like we're like thunder and lightning between those two. I think that works for right now for what they're doing.
That's kind of what Kevin's saying here. He is like, for this version of the Pistons to peak, Asar needs to get 28 plus minutes a game and find his niche on offense. That would mean Ron gets about 20 or something like that off the bench. So that makes sense to me as far as just getting those guys minutes together. But I don't think it should be the starting unit as of right now. So we'll leave it there. Let's move on to our next question, guys. Our next question. Now we got some IG questions. So y'all were sliding the DMs. Let's get to a few of these questions. First one is, what is the Pistons ceiling this season if they stand pat? Conference finals, NBA finals, or NBA championship? Who wants to take that one first? That's a good question.
I'll take it.
Take off.
Yeah, I'll definitely take it. Currently, right now, the way that the teams are built right now, I would say the Detroit Pistons have every single chance to get to the finals. Winning it, that's different. I think whoever comes out the West is going to automatically win. I just think they're at a different level right now. But getting to the finals, if you look at the teams that you have to beat, bro, it's not out of the question. It definitely is not out of the question. Like I said, if we had Stu, maybe a half Ivy like we got now last playoffs, we would have beat the Knicks, bro.
Facts.
So, like I said, looking at these teams, I don't expect Tatum to come back. And if he comes back, I don't expect him to be himself no time soon. This is a Achilles injury. That is not easy to come back from. That takes years to get back to yourself. Yeah. So, like I said, looking at the teams in the East right now, I mean, anything's possible.
Okay. All right. What you got, E?
Yeah, I think this is an NBA Finals bound team. I do. I think they have every making right now that they need. I still do think the East is good. I don't think it's strong at the top right now. I think the Pistons are obviously the cream of the crop, and I think there are some good teams for now kind of sprinkled in the middle, but I don't think a lot of them are serious contenders. Like I called at the beginning of the season, I said Cavaliers were flukes, and I think I was proven right on that.
You did.
And a lot of other teams are kind of just middle of the pack right now. Like they're very, up and down. The Knicks were high at a point. Now they sinking. Orlando was high at a point. They sinking. And then Boston does the same thing. So I think the Pistons have been the most stable team out the East. Again, I have a lot of questions about what they're going to look like in the postseason. Especially against the Western Conference if they get to the finals. But against the East, I like them matched up against anybody right now. Again, it's not really a team that's really just like staggering a whole lot of fear in what they're doing. I think the Knicks are I don't think they're a better team than they were last season. I think, Cat has still shown that he can be soft if you put a body on him. Brunson is not the same guy if he can't get to the free throw line 30 times. He gets kind of tired if you beat him up a little bit towards the fourth quarter, as we saw when he came to LCA. And if you lock in on their auxiliary guys, they're a different team. Like they're just not the same. So yeah, I like them as an NBA Finals contender. Again, whether they win or not is a different story because the West is tough. But I like their odds of getting out of the East this year.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got, boss?
Yeah, I agree. Because I mean, originally I was like Eastern Conference Finals, but the more I think about it, we could win that. So that would be finals bound. So that would be my choice. I agree with a lot of Eric's points as well. Because I preseason just called us being better than Knicks with their coaching change and just staying stagnant. I mean, they brought in Clarkson, they brought in a couple other people, but those people really need to be on fire to make up for, if Brunson's not making it, or like Brunson's not getting to the line. When Brunson gets tired, he's also not a good facilitator either. I really have the best point guard in the East, if not in the NBA right now in terms of scoring and facilitating. So that for me, it would be the finals. The West, it can be tough, but they're going through their process right now too. The Thunder are going through their learning process. I think the scariest thing would be like the Nuggets, because their guys have been out and they've been doing what we did earlier this season. Their depth is really developing because of it. But I still think that, it is possible but at least I expect us to win a playoff series this year. There's no reason why we should be a first round exit with the way we're playing and who we're playing against. I don't think Tatum will come back soon. I honestly hope not. Like, don't rush him back. He is still a young guy with a lot of talent, so there's no reason to put his whole career in jeopardy for one season.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with y'all, man. I think the fact that we lost that first round series has people, I won't say has them thinking we couldn't have made a deeper run, but who's to say if we don't win that series like we should have against the Knicks last year, we couldn't have beat Boston.
Right.
You know what I mean? The same way Indiana did. Or the same way New York did, sorry. So, like, we should have beat New York. So, if New York beat Boston, I know it's matchups, but I'm just saying, it's not like we would have just gotten to the second round. That would have been it. Mm-hmm. The way we were playing last year, and think about it, if we were to advance, who to say we wouldn't have had Stu back that following series with more time. So, with that, I think it's definitely possible now that these guys seem to have – they're on a mission this year, man. You can tell these guys are on a mission. They're out to prove everybody wrong that last year was not a fluke. And with another year of experience under their belt, another year with JB, another year of chemistry with these guys, the way Cade and JD are now gelling and just the chemistry that's there now, yeah, I think if this team is healthy 100%, they could get to the finals, and I think that's the expectation for them. Mm-hmm. As far as for what you guys said, you guys think that 43% say NBA finals, 39% say conference finals, and 18% say NBA championship. So okay. I'm not mad at that, man. I think, I think we all agree with what they think. That seems to be the expectation. So go ahead, E. You want to get in there, bro?
Yeah, I just think we're seeing a good maturation from a lot of the young guys. You were talking about the West Coast trip earlier, like with Ron and how he defended, some of the stars. I think even with the Knicks, I think the Pistons are doing a really good job because based on last season, Brunson was living at the free throw line. Asar was getting no breaks, with the officiating. True. But the Pistons have done a very good job of avoiding a lot of those ticky-tack fouls as of late. Like sometimes Stu will get in trouble with that lately, but a lot of the, keeping my hand in the cookie jar types, they've kind of stopped a lot of that, even against the Clippers with Harden and Kawhi. I've seen a lot better discipline, and I think that can carry into the postseason. We didn't see a whole lot of Ron Holland last year in the postseason. And I think he's kind of taking a lot of good notes of what he can do and how he can be effective. So defensively, I think he matches up against a lot of these Eastern Conference teams to throw a lot more depth, in terms of their perimeter defense. So, yeah, I love the maturation we've seen. We've barely even talked about what Cade brings. Everybody else at this point, is kind of, are the ones blossoming and who you need. Cade is going to be Cade, but you need everybody else to kind of go along and help. And we've seen a lot of those steps forward to show that they can, be effective and efficient to help him in that journey.
Get in there, King.
Our roster now has not only grown with who we did have last year, but the additions that we did add also play a factor. Thanks. With the Duncans and but the biggest wild card for me and the newest member of the Dog Pound, Devontae Green, bro. Yeah. He's another player that plays defense out of his mind, especially in big moments and closing out games when he gets the opportunity. He'll knock down big shots if he has to. He'll do anything he needs to do to win out there. He is literally our utility guy out there, man. And I think that plays a big factor of these matchups because those teams that we mentioned, they didn't get any better. They plateaued already.
Right.
And you're not getting any more out of Brunson. Actually, you're getting a little bit less out of him and Karl Anthony Towns. So, like I said, that plays a huge factor.
That's true, man. It was one game, but we saw Brunson struggle without any help. He had 6 turnovers and 0 assists. So he is definitely the head of the stake. I mean, most teams do, but I think they rely on him a little bit too much, and that kind of showed last game. So I'm with y'all, man. I definitely think we were in a good spot for sure. So let's go ahead. Sarah boss kind of took us into our next question. So let's go ahead and get to it. Which Western Conference team worries you the most? I thought that was also a very good question. I don't think there's really a wrong answer. I have a couple. couple teams, one in particular that I have, but I'll let y'all lead it off first. Let me come to you first, E. Which team out west worries you the most if we were to get to the NBA Finals this season? Talk about it, bro. Talk about
that
it.
guy. That guy scares me. It is not because he's unstoppable. It's because that whistle is undefeated. Like I don't. They've slowed down on it a little bit. I think Minnesota, blew the whistle on him and what that team does in terms of how they can be physical with you. They can smack you. They can grab you. They can do whatever they want. But the second you sneeze on SGA, all of a sudden it's a problem. So, but I still think they're, we're talking about who scares us the most. I would still say it's them. I think they do, pose a lot of threat with the depth that they have. Dort has done a great job of turning himself into a 3-and-D guy. Chet still turning into a great player. Jay Will. They've been a little different since he's come back into the lineup, but in terms of their postseason, activity, I think he's always going to be a problem. They have a lot of great defenders. Obviously, having Caruso, Wallace, they have a lot of good guys that will give Cade a little. I don't want to say give him a problem, but having a versatile number of bodies you can throw at somebody like Cade Cunningham is something that you want to be a little bit concerned about. Again, I think Cade can still go get his, but they have enough bodies defensively to kind of make it tough for the Pistons. So I would say OKC and the referees, of course.
In the referees, right? What you got, boss?
Yeah, I mean, OKC is valid. I think even the Wolves are valid. They can get hot too. I still stick with the Nuggets, and it's not because I'm partial.
Of course.
No, a Nuggets Pistons finals would be my nightmare. But last year I went to the Nuggets took OKC to 7 games, and this was they've again, that was with very little depth developed. It's something that they've had to do now with Jokic and Murray and Cam Johnson and Christian Brown all out, so they worry me only because Jokic can really just do it all. And they're also with Watson and Zeke Naji they're getting more defensive. I do think we're the better defensive team, but they've got shooters. Like they can really just outshoot anyone. OKC, of course, because they're young and they're all talented regardless of the whistle, but the whistle obviously helps them. I can't wait for us to match up against them because like you said, I do think that the refs, are kind of picking up on it after the Minnesota game. I think that teams are learning how to defend, and we have the most fouls in the NBA. We call for the most fouls because of our aggressiveness. And so I think us against OKC would, it would be pretty equally matched. You would hope that the refs would be like, if we get the whistle for that, then you have to blow the whistle for them doing it to us too. Mm-hmm. So that would be curious. So I would just say overall, I just picked the Nuggets because they're my favorite to come out of the West this year anyways. And again, it's not biased. Because if it was biased, I'd say the Pistons were my favorite to come out of the East. And they're not yet. So, yeah.
Okay. What you got, King?
I wanted to say the Nuggets, man. I just don't trust the Nuggets' health. That's just me personally. I don't trust their health to last throughout the season. But OKC, obviously, the refs is one thing. I haven't seen the Pistons play enough West Coast basketball yet to really put my finger on it. But just out of respect to them being the champs, then I would have to say OKC for right now. Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting, though, to see 2 young teams in the finals like that, though. And it depends on if they allow them to play basketball. If we can play our style of basketball, then that's a problem for OKC. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it's something to monitor for the rest of the season. If they do start to let up on some of those whistles like they've done on Brunson, that changes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I'm at too. I think it is contingent on the whistle, but I would hope that in the playoffs, they kind of swallow the whistle a little bit and kind of go ghost as far as the game is concerned, as far as not being present as much. Mm-hmm. I got Denver, man. Like Denver is my favorite West Coast team. They've been my favorite West Coast team for a long time since I saw them against the Lakers when the Lakers actually beat them in the bubble. But ever since then, when I saw Jamal Murray balling out the way he was and the way he worked with Jokic, to me, I feel like we're more capable of being able to consistently guard a Shea with multiple bodies, guys like Javante, guys like Ron, guys like Asar, as opposed to Jokic. Jokic is just a nightmare, bro. And I know we got Stu, right? But he's tough. I mean, Stu can't guard him the whole game. You know what I mean? So it's just one, and he's not as big. to me, Jokic just will be the X factor in that series. It's just like how are you going to stop him?
Yeah,
And he's shown that in the in the playoffs that he can get it done. And like Boss mentioned, like last year they pushed him to the limit without a healthy Aaron Gordon, 7 games, and without the depth that they have now, and without Tim Hardaway Jr., who's over there now. Like they got a lot of guys over there now who can really make a difference for them as far as their depth. And you got Joker healthy. That worries me.
Yeah.
I do have a dark horse squad though.
Oh, let's hear it. Go ahead.
Just based on trade deadline.
Okay.
The Spurs got some money to spend.
They do.
Make some movement. They got some.
The Spurs? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're right.
They got some money to spend over there. And if you can do something like swing it's crazy to say something like this, but you can swing like a Giannis over there or something like that, or anything to pair up with Wemby. They got the money to spend.
I know.
But they also got a lot of young guys that they're excited to develop too. That's why I don't know if they're ready to get rid of some of their guys.
They are deep. They got some depth over there, man.
They can dangle Fox out there.
Just be ready.
Man, I'm hoping not, bro. That wouldn't even be fair, bro.
I saw some comments say Houston. What do you guys think about that?
Nah.
Man,
I don't see it.
They're throwing water bottles at the floor.
Right. Right. Ime Udoka just said if we have to rely on a 37-year-old to carry us every single night offensively, that's a problem.
That's crazy.
So
when we package up a couple of picks in Tobias and go and get Amon Thompson and pair him with his brother, it's gonna be a problem.
Here we go.
That's two crazy ones for the night.
Okay, that's our second hot take. So you do for about 2 more within this show. So okay. So look, here's what you guys had to say as far as which team scares you the most. 58% said OKC, 37% says Denver, 6% says Houston, and 0% said the Lakers. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. I definitely snuck that in there just to be petty. Let's keep it moving, man. Next question says, which is more likely? Cade wins MVP or Stu wins DPOY?
Most definitely Stu wins DPOY.
Most definitely. Talk about it, King.
Bro, the way he's playing right now is kind of, come on, bro. If Stu keeps this up for the rest of the season, he's already starting to get his recognition. We're going to see a lot more defensive player of the month coming from him. I don't think he's going to slow down unless it's an injury.
Right.
I think it's much easier for him to win that because when you look at, again, the West and the numbers that guys are putting up over there, OKC, even though for right now they have a better record than us over there, he's a familiar. It's going to be tough for Cade to get it this year. I think he's going to be in the top 5 of the conversation, obviously. Okay. I don't think this is going to be the year they're going to give it to him, though.
Right. Okay. I can see that. But you see all NBA for sure, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay. What y'all think? E, let me come to you, bro. What you got?
Okay. let me answer this question right. I think Cade has a stronger case than they give him, but every time I see an MVP ladder, now he's 6 below Jalen Brown, minute restriction Wemby, and I don't play no defense Luka for some crazy reason. I don't understand that at all. But to me, on a fair and realistic and logical playing field, if you were actually watching the games and assessing what's really going on, I would honestly pick Cade between the two in that discussion because I think Stu, great. I think Stu's done a good job of being on his best behavior this year. I mean, he's a dog, but we haven't heard the chirping of, oh, he's dirty and da-da-da. I think people are finally waking up and realizing that Stu is actually a basketball player and showing the value that he has. And I think if he keeps that up, then I would agree with King. I don't know how much longer it's going to last. I think they go snap and he might fight somebody soon. And then all of a sudden,
don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
You're right. My bad. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. My bad. But for me, I don't know. I think I would still give it to Cade, man. I think he's really coming into his own right now. I think he has the biggest argument of his lack of help around him in terms of the star power and the roster fluctuation, even though, well, I mean, I guess Jokic is kind of out of it now because of his injuries and whatnot.
Right.
And OKC's dealt with injuries as well. Wait, what's that?
They're trying to bring him back by the end of January to keep him on a restriction.
What's the number?
Okay.
Is it 65 games?
Yeah.
Yeah, 65 is required. I don't know what he's at so far.
Well, they said it'd be all of January, which is 17 games. So that's why I
Okay.
feel like we might bring him back towards the end, which
Got you.
which is against us. So we'll see.
But that's if
Okay.
he doesn't get hurt again
That's
after
true.
that or have a
Okay.
relapse or something
Yeah,
like
but he
that, right?
doesn't really get hurt. But go ahead.
Okay.
So if he does it, then I will give it to Cade. If Jokic does find a way to come back and play, then I think it'll be Beef Stew, because I don't even think there's a lock right now for DPOY. Like, people are, talking heavy on, SGA, and it's obviously going to be hard to get past him and Jokic if they're playing. DPOY, I think, is wide open right now. So I do actually kind of understand that argument. Like, I don't think people wanted to give it to Wemby last year. It's not a runaway conclusion anymore for him because he's hurt and on his minute restriction. Evan Mobley's exposed to be a fraud. There's a lot of people on the perimeter that you could argue for. And Stu is building a case, especially as he's getting more minutes and arguably could be a starter sooner than later if the Pistons decide to get a little funky with it. So, I changed my mind. I'll go with Stu. You talk me into it, Stu.
It's tough,
You talk me
man.
into it, dog.
I think it could go either way, bro. I honestly don't know. Go ahead, bro.
Cade get mentioned, and Duren is a all-star if he can get back and start playing.
Yeah.
But he's an all-star. That's where I'm at.
Boss, where you in?
Yeah, I think that the thing against us is the fact that it is kind of a popularity contest. That's why you see guys like Luka up there. I think if who was it? Was it Giannis's comments? Whose comments were the other day? Like, who would they give the MVP to now because everybody's going to be disqualified? Like, and only one getting left is Shea. I forgot whose comments it was.
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, but a player, either Giannis or Wemby, like, talked about who would get it, and it was again, if Jokic is out of it, if Giannis is out of it, if Luka, he is known for getting injured, so if he becomes out of it, then, like, who's left? It's probably Shea. But I do think Cade has the best argument, like you said, Eric. Like, he has the best. He is, Cade's not putting up Shea's not putting up double doubles as a point guard. He's putting up hella points. I want to subtract the free throws from it and see what he's really putting up. But then,
Efficiency.
Yes, but then Cade, he's right behind Jokic, leading the league in assists, and he's still getting 25 plus. What is he averaging? 26 points a game right now at this point in the season. And his chase down blocks, his defense, like that should be what really goes into it all. But so he would have the better case, I think. And I think the only person that I've seen DPOY talks around is Gobert, but they're not ready to give him the fifth because that would break the record. But I was reading an article. It's like, oh, he's second in the league at this, and first is Isaiah Stewart. Like, he's second in the league at rim protection. Well, first is Isaiah Stewart. Well, he's third in the league at blocks. Well, second is Isaiah Stewart. But Isaiah Stewart, is still, he's just now a starter because of injuries. I still think a lot of the league sees him as just a fighter. A lot of people still aren't as tuned into him as they should be. So right now, I think it's more likely that Cade gets MVP just because people know who Cade Cunningham is, and it's less likely that Stu gets DPOY because he's not popular enough, I think.
I honestly do not know, man.
Yeah.
I think somebody said it earlier, but somebody said basically like the Pistons, they'll give the Pistons a DPOY. We've never had an MVP, guys. Ever.
Yeah.
We've never had an MVP before.
That's true.
So for us to get one, we have to do a lot. And that's taking nothing away from what Cade has done, because he's done a ton already. But for him to be the first one to ever get one, which I think is in his future, but I don't know if it's going to be this. I think the fact that we're in first place by a mile right now, 4 games pretty much, is going to help his case. But I think he just has to do a lot, man, for them politically to give him that. Because what does that say about him and his standing overall as far as the echelon as top Pistons ever? Now you got to have that conversation. That's going to happen. Cade's the first MVP everybody. So a lot comes with that. Unfortunately, I think that works against him, but I do think he is going to get one. I just don't know if it's going to be this year. I think DPOY makes more sense just because of who we are and how we play in our reputation over the decades. I think, the last guy to get it was Ben Wallace, and people are already comparing him to Ben Wallace as far as being the heart and soul of this team and the culture setter and all those things. To me, that makes the most sense optically and politically to give him a DPOY before Cade gets the MVP, unfortunately, just because of our reputation. When
you look at
Isaiah didn't even get one, bro.
Yeah,
Grant didn't get one, Go ahead.
Defense in the league, you know what I'm saying? And you have one of the top players in the league as a defensive player of the year. It would make sense to do that.
Yeah.
And like I said, we never had an MVP because we never had this type of player. You know, our teams won from straight up teamwork.
Facts.
Our winning squad. So Cade is a first to be successful playing that type of role as the main guy. You know, we've had main guys, but that's been derailed by injuries and or bad teams. This is the first time we got both. We got the top guy, we got the defensive guy, but we also have the record to show for it.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, I think if we're consistently good over the next few years, he's going to leave no doubt where he's just kicking the door down. Like, look, you have to give it to me now. I think he's going to get it at some point for sure. Go ahead, E.
Yeah, and it sucks that he's the better defender of all those guys that we just discussed too.
That's a fact.
Cade clears Jokic's defense by a mile. I don't think SGA has been good on defense at all. I just saw him get hunted out a week ago against I forgot who he just played against, but they literally had to take him off the floor in the final stretches because he was getting hunted out by Phoenix. That's who it was. Like it really makes me mad how things like efficiency have become so overvalued. And I'm not saying it's not important, but the true shooting percentage and like just some of these things that people just gas up too much when before it was, the winning impact on winning. We heard that for the longest time. Now you see Cade's impact on winning on both sides of the ball on a team that was horrible 2 years ago. And he's the snake of all of it. I don't really understand how he's not like, again, I love Jokic and I think he should still be a lot higher in this discussion for what we see, especially of guys like Luka and just the dudes underneath the top two. I think is an absolute joke. So I don't know. I wish there was I like that we have the 65 game rule now so we get some kind of consistency with the criteria, but I think more needs to be set in terms of what people are really looking for instead of the most popular and sexy narrative that they can throw out.
Fair. That's fair, bro. That's fair. So you guys have spoken. As far as what you guys think is more likely, you guys think Stu wins DPOY at 62% and Cade wins MVP at 38%. So we'll see. We'll see. And that's just based on this year, right? Who knows what could happen in the years coming? A lot can change between now and then. I think a lot will. So we'll leave it there on that, guys, and we will go to our final question from IG. This one says here, are you taking the over or under on 60 wins for the Pistons this season? So over or under on 60? As of right now, we're 28-10,
Man,
I believe, right? 28-10.
My Twitter.
So that league, go ahead.
My Twitter prediction was 60.
It was.
I remember you said that.
It was. That's a fact. That's a fact. So where you at? The
Let
over or under?
him
Where
go
you at?
first. Yeah.
Dude, I meant that.
Say it with your chest, big dog. So you got the over?
I'm gonna take the over.
Okay.
I'll be risky.
What's your number?
64.
64. Wow. So we're gonna tie the all-time. So guys, it flips exactly. 2006 was the franchise record for wins in a season of 64-18.
I'm just
okay.
I gotta try.
I ain't mad at it. Okay, let's keep it moving, boss. What you got? Over or under on 60?
That's tough because that would mean doing like the record that we have now, doing that again, and then even better to finish out. I feel like we haven't seen enough of the West teams to really determine. Just the way we're playing, though, like again, almost winning with some depth guys out. I mean, if I take the under, it's by like 2, like it's 58. So I'm going to take the under because I think that's just more that's more realistic. It's like a 58 win season.
Okay, so you got like 58-24, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, not mad at that. E, holla at me, dog.
Yeah, I'm taking the under. Again, but it's like she said, it's not like it's, I don't think they're going to bottom out and go on a 15-game losing streak. Like, I think they'll still, I think 55 is like a comfortable area for them. I think between 55 and 58, I think is a reasonable range for them. I think they've shown, well, granted, we haven't seen them against OKC and no, they haven't played Denver at all yet either, have they?
Nope.
No. So we still got to see that, but that's just 2 teams. So granted, I do think they can still show that they're willing to compete and can compete with anybody else. I mean, they've already beat Houston. They've, dusted off on the Lakers. I think they've shown the ability to compete with anybody. And again, with whatever they have on their roster as well. So again, I don't know. 60 is bold. Shout out to King. Hey, I wish I had the courage as you, dog, but I'm gonna go with 55 for me.
I'm not mad at it, man. William says 59 and 23.
Mhm.
I have us at 60 on the nose.
Okay.
60 on the nose. I can't pick it over under because I actually literally have them at 60 on the nose. I don't know if we're going to replicate what we've done the first half of the year at this point, but right. I think things like load management, just not even, I don't want to call it that, but just keeping guys healthy, seeing different lineups like we've seen the last few games of guys just getting opportunities and things like that. And then too, we saw what Cleveland did last year in the regular season, winning 60 plus games and fizzling out in the playoffs. I don't want to be that team.
No.
I want to be that team that is slowly getting better, slow trajectory. Like I always say, the last time we won the championship, we won 54 games. Right. So we're going to surpass that this year, it looks like, for sure, unless, barring injury, knock on wood. But I think we're going to be right at 60 games. I think we have the depth. I also think, like you guys have mentioned, we haven't seen a lot of those teams out west yet. And I think that's going to tell me a lot about what that number will look like. If we're able to handle some of these teams in the top 4 in the West and, the Houstons, we got to beat them already, but we can beat Denver and we can beat OKC once or twice, then I think that says a lot about what we can do as far as regular season. But yeah, I think I'm going to settle in right at 60 games.
Cool.
So you guys said, the chat says you guys have under 60% say they're taking the under on 60 wins. 25% says they're taking the over, and 15% says 60 exactly. So I think that's a pretty good vote there. So we'll leave it there, guys. But yeah, good. Anything else on that?
I was just gonna, before we move on to the next thing with some questions, someone brought up, a couple of people brought up the same names. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on if we make a move for him. Jabari Smith Jr.
Man, after what I saw him just do last game, he couldn't throw it in the ocean, bro. He was building a house in that last game. That was why KD was so upset.
He averages 15 points a game.
Yeah, he's having one of his better seasons now.
I don't know, man. He seemed kind of streaky to me. In big moments, I don't know if I can trust him to consistently knock down shots. I may be unfair, but just from what I've seen.
Sadiq Bey, 15.
Sadiq Bey. That was your man's, though. That was your man's, right?
Oh, he is my dog. Even though, Beeline broke his jump shot, still.
Bro. That's a whole other conversation. Go ahead.
Jabari is cool. I'm ready for the Pistons to stop going for the experimental guys, though. Yeah, I'm tired of the low risk, high reward guys. Like we talk about, obviously it's gonna get hard to get a guy like Trey Murphy or whatnot, but we know what he is. We know what Michael Porter Jr. is. Like those guys are stamped to be like you have a trajectory that you can bank on. You don't know what you're going to get out of Jabari Smith Jr. And I'm tired of those kind of guys. Like, granted, he's not a Marvin Bagley or anything like that, but he's basically a polished version of that. So, like, I don't know. I'm ready for them to move on from those kind of names because they're in a different tier at this point. Like, Cade, you need to start taking advantage of Cade's prime with some real, like, bona fide dudes like the other teams did. Like, Desmond Bane's a proven guy. Like, Brandon Ingram's a proven guy. Those are the guys you need to start adding at this point, not these young. Maybe he'll be good, but if not, at least we didn't pay him a lot. Like, we're not Brad Holmes. We're trying to find some real talent that you can have for this team.
Do not get King started, bro.
Nothing.
He might trip out like Winter Soldier when he hear the wrong phrase, man. You say Brad Holmes too loud.
Tired of that man, bro. Tired of that man.
Stop it.
Yeah, he just got brought up a couple times, so I wanted to shout out the chat because, for the thoughts. So that's kind of
that's a good question.
Yeah, I agree. I like him as a player, but I like the point too of not consistent enough right now.
Yeah.
Let's go get Dylan Brooks.
What'd you say?
Let's go get Dylan Brooks.
Oh, look at you. That's strike 3.
I'm straight. Right. I'm straight. I'm straight, bro.
We see him.
They call the cops on him, Stu.
You already know, bro. Man, first, 1 or 2 games in, it's gonna be problems. I already see. Man, we'll leave it there, guys. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's switch topics a little bit. Let's go to Jalen Duren, man. Let's talk about JD. Been a lot of JD news lately, guys. For those who do not know at this point, Jalen Duren was just featured on the latest cover of Slam magazine, and he did an interview with them. And today, guys, he actually had a lot to say. Well, not a lot to say, but he actually reacted to the news of being on the cover of Slam magazine. Let's check it out.
No, it's cool, man. I mean, a lot of people have, graced the covers. I know we had a couple guys here. I think AT had one, Deuce had one. I think a couple guys had one. But it's cool, man. Like I said, I can't wait to see it.
So I think that's dope. First of all, that's dope for him. Like, I'm happy for him, considering where he's been, to be able to get to this point now and get some recognition. Did you guys get a chance to check out the interview that Slam had on YouTube? If you guys did, was there anything that stood out? What were your thoughts on anything that stood out from that interview? I'll kick it to you first, King.
Just him speaking on what it takes to keep his body the way that he is, and also the mentality, man, how it became contagious with the Pistons.
Yeah.
That kid, it couldn't be more true. You know what I'm saying? It started with him and Stu, and then, when Ron Holland came and Nassar and, everybody else, and now you got guys like Javonte Green, man. Our entire team is the dog pound. Everybody goes out there and gives the effort. It's no player that we're complaining about on defense. Even Tobias Harris, even the unction is out there. So
what you call them, the untouchables? Ain't that what you call them?
The untouchables, these outfits.
When they was all suited and booted.
These outfits. No, but that it's the heart and soul of our team, man. It's not just one player. A lot of us will say, Stu is the heart and soul of the team, man. This thing is throughout the squad. It starts with the Picker staff, man, and the great job they're doing with these guys, because you're getting everything that you can out of these dudes.
Right. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. Boss, what you got for us?
Yeah, I didn't watch the full interview, but I watched a lot of the clips on Instagram, and I agree. I really liked him bringing up the dog pound and how, the mentality that it takes. He mentioned working one-on-one with JB and saying he hasn't had a coach in the NBA do that with him yet. And just shout out to Coach for that and just what he's brought to this team. You can obviously tell that he has a relationship with everyone out there, because he can give angry, disappointed dad eyebrows, during timeouts, and he claps for them. That's just huge for these young guys just going on in their careers, no matter where they end up. Hopefully, JD is a Piston for a while, but that I just really appreciated from him. And then, just saying that how the work pays off on the court, how you just have to work for, what you want. And I just appreciated him, in his honesty about just saying that he's just worked really hard and it's come out. And I still think, I'm excited for him and his opportunity, because I think he obviously earned it. And it's I'm sorry, I'm blanking on my word right now, so I'll just skip that thought. But
We'll come back to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, he can just be like, I don't think he's even close to his ceiling. Like, he can just do so much more.
22.
I think he can average, he can average 20-10 games. He's almost there, but that's what's exciting. So yeah, it was just cool to see him get recognized, because he's also just someone, like, we've even seen in just the all-star voting. He's just a little bit underappreciated in this league, I believe. But that also just has to do with the media and the lack of it up until this season with the Pistons. So that was kind of what my, feedback from him was. And of course, just mentioning the dog pound. I just love that.
Yeah, for sure. Even, what you got?
I really liked I did like the interview, but the one clip I liked where he was talking to Hunter Patterson, shout out Hunter. He asked him about, like, if his younger self saw it. He said, damn, I feel like I'm going somewhere in life.
Right.
For me personally, because you hear a lot of people in sports who will constantly just devalue the regular season, devalue all-star accomplishments, devalue awards, devalue all the things it takes to get to a championship. People just want to act like if you don't win a title, nothing else matters. You're an idiot, because that's not realistic. I love this for him. Everybody who's ever played sports, man, these are the kind of things that you dream of, when you're dribbling the ball, in the driveway as a kid. I remember when I was in high school, man, the first time I got called as a starter in front of my school and got my name called, that meant the world to me, bro. Like, those little things mean a lot for these kind of players, especially someone as young as JD, who's stepping into a new role. Like, I love seeing, like, we talked about the maturation of his development as a player. I love the maturation of his leadership, because, last season they talked so much about what it meant to have THJR, having Tobias, having Beasley, Paul Reed, even JB, like kind of learning from them. And I think this season we're seeing what they learned from those guys play out right now. Like how JD called out Asar in that road game, and then they were able to get back right and win the game. Like, it's just little things like that to show that he's really taking a hold of this team and taking a step in terms of what he means to this franchise. Like, a lot of people looked at him and thought he was crazy for gambling on himself and wanting a huge contract and whatnot. Like, at this point, you don't really have a choice. Like, he's Cade's guy. He's really shown that he's blossomed on both ends of the floor, and he's one of the foundational franchise leaders of this team. So I love where JD is at right now. I'm really proud of him with this accomplishment. This is huge for him and for the franchise as well. This is a major, monumental moment.
Yeah, that's a great point, bro. Like, you want to be ambitious. Go ahead, boss.
I just like it's well said, because I agree. I'm definitely just to acknowledge these guys' accomplishments. Like, no, they don't have a ring yet, but this is to be on Slam Magazine and get this chance for him as a young guy. It's just huge.
That's huge.
Yeah. I appreciate Trajan Langdon. Like, I appreciate, JB and his coaching staff. I think JD was saying a lot by saying little, by saying this is the first NBA coach that has taken the, he reiterated, he said, first NBA coach that has taken the time to take that, one-on-one seriously with me and develop me. So I thought that was, it was kind of telling if you read between the lines there. But yeah, Trajan Langdon, man, I have a lot of respect for him, man. Like, imagine if the Pistons did do what a lot of fans wanted and traded him away when his value wasn't really high for Nick Claxton or Nikola Vucevic, and he goes somewhere else and is doing this right now on the cover of Slam Magazine in a different uniform.
The Lakers called for him last year. Yep.
Right? Like, imagine that. You know how sick fans would be right now? And this is why I just always preach. All four of us here, we preach patience with all of these young guys. You got to have patience. The thing is, it's been a long time since the Pistons have built through the draft, right? You got to go back decades. And a lot of fans, they're not used to what that looks like. But the growing pains, the peaks and valleys, this is all part of investing in your draft picks. But you also got to have, along with patience, you got to have a coaching staff who knows how to develop talent.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like JB came here after a bunch of moves were made. He came here and had the same core, the same team that won 14 games a year prior, and transformed that into 44 wins a year later. Record-setting turnaround, right? Top team in the East this year for 75% of the year, right? So that's why, that's why Trajan Langdon religiously kept saying he wanted to build around this core and give them time, give them a chance to develop and grow, because he saw the talent that was here. When Trajan Langdon got here, he saw the young core, he saw the talent. So he knew what we were all thinking, guys. It's like, if you give these guys a proper time in development, they could become a great young core. But it doesn't happen without patience and also development, right? To have the right development, because we all know the last coach I was here. We know how guys' growth got stunted and how many, right? It could have been a mess if we didn't make a change there, because who knows what situation we'd be in now from a cultural standpoint, from a development standpoint. Trajan Langdon and JB have completely just overhauled the mental thought process of what it looks like here. So I got to give them guys a lot of credit for that too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Coaches get, they keep GMs jobs, man.
Right.
Coaches producing.
Yeah. That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
Even though I know a lot of people facing might cringe, but I got to say thank you to Troy Weaver for drafting Cade, Isaiah Stewart, and Duren.
Bro,
Duren's the best move he made.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that? For all his faults, we know, Troy had his faults, right? But he made the move to trade Jeremy Grant when a lot of people were confused. That was the move that got him the assets to a few days later in the draft, after he got Jaden Ivey, to get back into the draft to go get JD at 13. Same draft. He used those assets from the Jeremy Grant trade to go get JD. It wasn't like we had a pick there. He had to go get and trade for that pick with the assets from that Jeremy Grant trade. So, once again, you got to give credit where it's due, right? And that's something that I think gets missed a lot. Go ahead, bro.
Deuce, you have to think about that, because we just sat here and talked about on this show, MVP, a defensive player of the year, and an all-star.
Right.
Oh,
it's a fact.
Balloons.
That's a fact.
No, that was such a crazy moment. I remember texting my homeboys, saying they just got Ivy. and saying, oh, Troy could be interested in getting somebody else. Kemba Walker, what's Kemba Walker doing here? He might trade for him. Wait, because then ESPN was confused too, saying that he might go to the Knicks or might go to Charlotte. There was so much confusion, and then finally being able to pull that off for JD, and then seeing what they flipped him for.
That's right.
That was such a wild moment at the draft. Granted, some of the other draft picks he made have been kind of obvious. Getting Cade was obvious. Ivy was a little more obvious. Asar, I won't say is obvious. He took a little brains to get that, but going to get JD at that pick was unbelievable for him. He definitely deserves a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. We talking about JD, right? So got to look at how he got here, right? So I think that's very, very important.
Shout out JD, man.
Yeah, shout out JD, and then the coaching staff too, man. Like all the coach, like we know what JB brings, but the coaching staff, we always hear it takes a village. It takes a village with a young team, right? So all the coaches, man, like the Jerry Jacks of the world, Luke Walton, Sidney Lowe, who am I missing? Fred Vinson, Tom Allen, Potapenko. Right.
Potapenko, there I was going to say.
Yeah, all those guys, Coach Estes, like all those guys, Coach Stout, everybody, man. So like I think they all deserve credit for the work they do behind the scenes. Go ahead, E. Get in there.
Did y'all see that video of him and Cade talking about their love life? Social team?
Oh, him and JD? Bro, it had me.
Bro, he talking about some candidates. Like, well, what are y'all doing? Bro?
Bro, so hey, some of my friends hit me up like, hey, they for real? I'm like, I don't know.
Girls got in the beard, they was ready to go. Word.
They was tagging me. Shout out to my
next.
Man, that was funny. But then Cade came back later like, we just joking, y'all. He actually commented back and was like, we just playing.
Hey, relax.
Yeah,
Too late. All-Star weekend on the way. They already booked their flights, Cade. It's too late. It's too late, my boy.
So with that, bro, I think at this point we probably all agree. After this whole media push, there's no way JD isn't making the All-Star game, right? Like he's joining Cade in LA for the All-Star game. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you just got to get back and start playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I think he will. I don't think they'd invest these much resources into him to not have him in the All-Star game. I just can't see it. Like it is crazy because, bro, he's not getting any like he made now because of this media push and all this slam stuff. But look at this, man. These are second fan returns. Look at the right side of that graphic.
Yep.
JD is nowhere to be found.
He's not even on the list.
He's not even on the list, bro. He's not even top 20.
And Nobi.
That's insane. Like look at the names on this list, bro.
Josh Hart, what are we doing?
Bro, after like 8 or 9, maybe even just 8, I'm like, come on, bro. I can't even put Michael Porter Jr. above him because the Nets got like 11 wins.
Yeah.
Come on, Pascal Siakam, Brandon Ingram, nope. LaMelo, nope. OG, nope.
no.
Scotty Barnes, nope.
No.
Mikhail, nope. Josh Hart, nope.
Nah.
Joel Embiid ain't even played. Norman Powell, maybe. Josh Giddey, nope. Franz Wagner, no. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
That's wild to me, bro. That is insane. But thankfully, the coaches vote the reserves in and not the fans. So we all know historically, coaches reward winning.
Right.
So with the Pistons being atop the Eastern Conference and with Cade and Jalen being so intertwined on and off the court, even like with they fits matching with like you can see like Cade wants him to come along with him for the ride, so to speak, as far as being the guy with him. He don't want to go by himself again. Yeah. So I think for sure JD is gonna make his way there despite the disrespect he's getting from the fans right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, E.
The coaches, they love him too. I've got to spend some time, before our home games and whatnot, talking to the assistant or the opponent coaches. They love JD. Like we always talk about the young core, and they spend plenty of time raving about his development and how great he's been. So yeah, his respect throughout the coaching and throughout the NBA with players and whatnot is there. Fans is on some bull, but that's fine.
Like
that's
come
fine.
on, bro.
If the right people are seeing what needs to be seen.
Josh Hart.
Bro, what?
He
didn't even play.
It's the Knicks. It's just the Knicks.
Go ahead, boss. Say it again.
It's just the Knicks starting 5. It's just their fans came out in full force. I mean, I told you after the first and second returns, I think Jalen Brunson jumped up $3 more million and Cade jumped up 7. Like, it's just like it's just seeing it out there and everything. They obviously have a huge fan base. We hear them at our games too. They're everywhere. So I think that's more so what it is. Because I'm also like, I love OG Anunoby, but he's not an all-star. He's a great player.
No, bro. That's why I'm like, we got to do better, man. Like, we got to support our guys more. I know a lot have, but we gotta make sure our guys even if they don't get there off the fan vote, just have some respectability on the list, man. There's no way Jalen Duren should not. There's no way he's not a top 20 player in the East, bro. There's no way at all. So you could push for top 10 if you ask me, but that's a whole other conversation. But lastly, on JD, a few things that I noticed too that he said in the interview is that he said he wants to play with Cade his whole career.
That's awesome.
He wants to play with Cade his whole career. He said, I hope I play with him my whole career. Say again?
Obviously, best friends. They go everywhere together, bro.
Boss, I was just telling you about that earlier today. You could see they got a certain camaraderie and like they just vibe.
Yeah.
They just vibe. They spend time together in the offseason. And he also said this is not going to be the last time. He said we're going to be doing this going forward. So he's got a chance to meet the family. Like they just have a certain guys just click and certain guys just don't. Naturally, doesn't mean you don't like them. It's just personality wise. You can just see they kind of view life similarly in a lot of ways. And the way they approach things is similar in a lot of ways. Go ahead, boss.
It's just being friends outside of being teammates too. Like obviously, everyone on the team has respect for each other, but you can just tell that Cade and JD don't get bored of each other. You know.
Right. For sure. So I think that's a very good. You said a power of friendship.
Power of friendship, baby.
Man. I said you look at all of those teams that we did have that we won with, and you heard Isaiah and Joe D talk about how they used to be up 3 o'clock in the morning talking about players, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Yep. Game plan on how to beat MJ and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, relationships off the court, man. That's the most important thing. Important thing.
I agree, bro. So I'm happy for him, man. And he better be in LA with Cade for that All-Star game. Last thing that he mentioned that I picked up on was he talked about how them having to get it through the mud, going through that 14-68 season really was kind of a blessing in disguise because it really made them grow up quickly. And it built their mental toughness. It explains to me why he came out of the gate slow. Not saying it is an excuse, but when he even called himself out and said beginning of last season he was playing soft, the year after the 14-68 season, he said he was used to winning. Like most of these guys are coming out of college. He's used to winning. So when you are used to winning and then you come to a situation and you're not winning more than 20 games for consecutive years, and then the trajectory starts to go the other way, worse, you might feel like, man, what's the point? It ain't gonna matter. It ain't. But I think once again, the coaching staff, man, like just changing the whole outlook and the whole mindset, like from the ground up, tore down mentally and build it back up. So I think his transformation and just his mental maturity over the last couple of years has really improved. It's like when you're winning, you can't even really argue it like we are now. So it's like it gives us even more reason to keep doing it. So I'm just happy for him, man. I think he deserves all this, all the noise that a lot of our young guys hear when they're not at their peak, and for them to be able to reap the fruits of their labor and their hard work. It means a lot to these guys. So I'm really happy for them to get this opportunity for sure.
For sure.
It's definitely a dope thing. All right, guys. I have one question for you guys now. I have a question for you guys. Projecting out, this is just for fun. We talked about All-Stars this year, right? For the Pistons, probably going to have 2. How many All-Stars do you think the Pistons will have next year? Do you think they'll just stand pat at 2? Do you think that they may be joined by somebody next season? No right or wrong answers. Chat, y'all can chime in too.
Listen,
but what do y'all think?
If they make that push and they really do make some noise in the finals or something like that, depending on development, I think we might see some of those old days with the go-to-work Pistons, where you see like 3 or 4 guys on the All-Star squad.
Everything is cyclical. You thinking like I always think, bro. You thinking how I was thinking. I ain't gonna say yeah, but that was what I was thinking. What do you think, E?
I say I think they'll for sure have 2. I think they'll get 3, but I don't know if it's gonna be someone on the internal tip right now. I feel like they need to add somebody else. I haven't seen enough right now from some of the other guys on the roster to think that they may be all-star bound. Like, I love Asar. I just don't think we've seen enough from him offensively to be an all-star. Like, defense alone is not finna do it. Like, unless you Ben Wallace type, like,
right,
you got to be like extraordinary. Like, not to say he's not, but Ben was Ben is different in terms of his defense, and I don't know if we've seen that from Asar. So I think they can get 3, but it's going to have to take, to me, a roster move to get it. I don't know about the other guys being
Kevin Durant
bound for that.
Here we go.
There you go, bro.
Here we go. See, I was watching the clock like it's about that time.
His one last
About that
All-Star with
time.
the D. I'm with that, though.
What you got, boss?
Yeah, it's hard to say right now because I do think that there's all-star futures for these guys, but within a year, I'm not sure. Like I do see Asar developing into that. I could see if Ron eventually gets more minutes in shooting, he could eventually be an all-star. That's kind of my hottest take of who's on the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could see Ivy if he gets back into rhythm and then can grow off of that. But I don't think any of this can happen within a year. I don't think anything can happen within a year. I think it'd have to be a couple. So I think the closest one, especially if he is added to the starting lineup, is because our 4 is Stu. I think that's the closest one.
So that was actually my dark horse. Like the JI, obviously for the reasons you mentioned, and Asar for the reasons that you mentioned, E. But yeah, Stu is my dark horse. I'm not saying it's likely, but I'm just thinking about it. He's gonna be an all-NBA defender already. I'm gonna throw a name at you guys, and y'all just let me know what you think about this. I've been mentioning this guy's name for a couple years now. You guys remember Al Horford in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when they won 60 games
Mm-hmm.
in 2015? He was an all-star that year.
Uh-huh.
And what King was talking about with the old Pistons squad and success being rewarded, right? Now, he was an all-star for multiple years, but he was never a freak athlete. He was never the biggest, tallest. He was like 6'8", 6'9". He didn't score a ton of points, but despite that, he was smart. He was a good defender with a high IQ, and he could shoot the basketball. It's a lot of similarities there. So I'm not saying it's likely, but I think if the Pistons have the level of success that is just, that eclipses this or comes close to what they're having this year and they make a deep run in the playoffs, he just showed us what he could do offensively. Not saying he's going to score 30 or even 20 a night. Al Horford averaged 15 points when he was all-star. 15 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a block. I don't think that's out of the room possibility. I'm not saying it's likely. I'm just saying something to keep an eye on.
So we should trade Tobias and ask Stu to start lineup.
I just want to say
I ain't saying trade nobody, but the last part I agree with.
I just want to say it's hard to be, obviously having 2 people is pretty impressive, but like Jamal Murray's never been an all-star. Aaron Gordon's never been an all-star.
Insane. That's insane.
There's big names that also have never been all-stars. So I think it's just a harder thing to defeat. So the fact that we even have 2, that's incredible.
Right.
I agree.
So it's just like that whole thing of like, yeah, Al Horford did it that year. Vucevic has been an all-star, but Murray hasn't.
That's
Aaron
insane.
Gordon, even with his time with, the Magic.
Insane.
So there's just certain people that should be all-stars that never did or will.
And
Go ahead, pop in.
I'm taking pitchforks out on Cole Anthony, man. I'm willing to say it. I think Jaden Ivey was on track to be an all-star, bro.
He was
on track, bro. I don't care what anybody on Twitter says. He was on track last year. The way he was playing, the explosiveness, the way his self-creation was to shoot, like offensively, playing off ball, on ball, like he was on track to be an all-star. If he was still healthy right now, I think he'd be in this conversation right now.
Definitely. Yep. Everything just looked easy. It was all within the flow. Nothing was forced.
No.
That's was just, man. It can happen again, but it's going to take time. Because we can clearly see, obviously, we've seen him go up, and then I feel like he was trending up, and then lately he's been trending down a little bit. But we still have the rest of the season, and he still has his whole career ahead of him. So
for sure. So I agree, boss. Like maybe not next year for some of these guys, but in the next few years, couple years, especially if we have continued success.
Right.
I think it can't be ignored. Go ahead.
MBJ had a pretty bad injury too, and he came back and has been an all-star. Like the injuries don't determine, but it does take time. It can take time.
And
with the fan base is obviously always going to be selfish in that situation, but the man broke his leg, you know what I'm saying? And it just takes time. It's going to be ups and downs. But if he survives the trade deadline, if we don't get some type of trade out of somewhere where he gets packaged, I think, a couple of years is definitely realistic for Ivy. And like I said, you'll be able to keep him around on a bargain, man, because you can't really argue. You're coming off a broken leg and you have a season like this, you can't really argue for a lot of money. He'll be cheap. He'll be a part of your team. Man, I truly do think he was going to be an all-star last season.
He was. I really feel like he was on the same trajectory, bro. I really do.
Most improved player track. He was right there.
I just think about how far ahead he would be had he not lost those 9 or 10 months.
Mm-hmm.
If he was playing right now, what would he look like? It's water under the bridge now, but it's just something that I'm not forgetting about at all. Dante says that, bro, I broke my fibula and I would slap someone if they asked me to score. Hey, listen, I thought about Ron, but we talked about it earlier. Like, he would have to get starter minutes. And I don't know if that's going to happen, like we talked about earlier. Nothing against him as a player. I think he has the potential to at some point get there, but it's just going to be hard. We got a really deep team, man. So it's like, who would you have to sit for that? So, yeah, I think you guys made good points for sure. Before we get out of here, guys, the last thing we're going to end it with. Have you guys seen, we talked about it earlier, have you guys seen JB Bickerstaff's new look?
And
For anybody who hasn't.
It's just been, again, trying to trust your gut and seeing what's in front of you and what the game needs. The other night, I thought that, we were looking for a spark versus Chicago, and I thought Chaz could be that spark. I think he went out and did it. And that's the thing about, this team is like you make decisions based on what you feel like is right. And then the guys buy into it because they know every other given night it's going to be their opportunity. So how do they take advantage of it when it is their opportunity? And I think, again, I'm fortunate as a coach to be able to coach that way, where guys don't have agendas and aren't so worried about themselves that they don't think about their teammates or what's best for the team.
Headband JB, man. Headband JB. Look at Coach, man. So inspirational. So inspirational. Somebody in my comments said the new chocolate Chuck Daly. I'm like, bro, what?
Chill.
Charlie Villanueva.
Oh my God.
Somebody said Josh Smith. Somebody said Josh Smith. I'm like, bro.
Same, bro.
One more thing. Bro. Somebody said I should wear a headband on the post-game show for every time that he has a great game. And look, listen, y'all.
Who's he, JB?
Yeah. If somebody said that I should wear a headband every time, every post-game that we do, that he coaches a great game.
So a win.
I'm committed. I'm committed to it. Look, King, I know you got your show. If you do it, I do it. Boss, if you want to do it, we can make it a thing.
Oh
I'll throw my headband on.
Okay, first of all, I'm not trying to be looking like Ricky Davis out there. Second of all, if you put on a headband, you gonna look like Abdul Rauf out there. I'm not, man. I'll do it for them.
Let's do it. You gotta buy in. Let's do it. That'd be fun. Ricky Davis is accurate AF though. I ain't gonna lie, dog. I was gonna say T Grizzly with a headband, but Ricky Davis works too. So we gonna do it? Boss, you game?
Yeah, I feel like I look like Luis Scola, but
what a callback. Shout out Luis Scola.
Trying to think who has a middle part with straight hair.
Oh my God.
Now,
what was the big man that played for San Antonio? We got his name here, the long hair. I can't think of his name. Luis Scola. That's I ain't even gonna agree with that, boss. I ain't gonna agree with that, but no.
I look better, but I look like him.
Okay, yeah, we'll leave it at that then. Screaming. All right, man. We'll end it there. We having too much fun, man. Listen, guys, it's been a great show, man. That was gonna be a wrap for this episode tonight. Enjoy you guys being here, man. We appreciate you guys showing up as you guys always do. Vinny, King, we appreciate y'all, man. Pulling back up. I'm sure we're gonna do this again soon at some point. Make sure you guys follow all these smart and subscribe to all these smart people on all platforms, man. For anybody who is not following, Eric, you first, bro. Where can we find you at, bro?
I'm all over the place, man. Appreciate y'all for being here. Social media, I am Eric Vincent. YouTube, Top Title Detroit. Follow me on clutchpoints.com for my beat reporting. Follow my streams on liveonassist.com as well. I'm going to link that to my YouTube and my social media soon, too. So be sure y'all tap in with that. Appreciate y'all, man.
100%. King, where can the people find you for anybody who is not already acquainted with you after like 20 years of you doing this, man?
Everything King on YouTube and Twitter. I_amking77 on TikTok and Instagram. That's where you guys can find me.
There you go. And to top it off, boss, let them know where they can find you as well.
Yes. I'm Boss Talks Ball on Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. I don't post yet, but that's where you can find me and talk to me. I don't know what to post, but I'm there.
Get your post game up.
Yeah. That's where you can find me.
Okay. So look, if for any reason you guys cannot find them, tap into the description of this video and you will see everybody's links there for sure. And make sure you guys hit that like button on this video and sub to your boy Downtown Deuce as well. We will see you guys Thursday night after the Pistons take on the Phoenix Suns at home. Hopefully that is a dub and we have some good news to talk about with you guys. But until then, hope you guys have a great night. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that shop, you must want this way. Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, if the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.